Yo! What's good, everyone? How are you this fine day? And where are you this fine day? Trans City Pants, welcome. Good to have you back, as always. Got some goodies for you today. In fact, I'm going to toss the first thing up here. We will be taking a look at a plugin from AudioThing today. That's pretty great. 45,000, welcome. Well, in the UK, excellent. Here in sunny Portland. So this plugin that we'll be taking a look at today, doing a quick review on, is called Reels, and it's a tape emulation plugin. But it's a bit of a different take. And just because, love, today only, 30% off of Reels from AudioThing. Plus, if you grab that today, you get Trash 2 from Isotope and the new Carbon Synth for free. Because love. All right. So, now that that is out there, the next thing is our spooktacular Halloween community project. We're going to start it off with the sample challenge. And, oh, I've just realized that I still have a whole truckload of stuff up on the screen. I've been staring at other windows, thinking that I had stuff closed down. Let's see here. I'll just save this and duck out of that. All right, so Halloween challenge. Halloween challenge. The first leg of the Halloween project is going to be a sample challenge. So, let's just type this up here really quick so everybody can see this as they walk in the door today. Nate! Welcome, sir. All right, so our community Halloween project is going to have a couple of steps to it. It's going to kind of have a couple of phases. So, one, sample challenge. So for this, you will find, make, let's just color code these a little bit so it's a little bit easier for us to look at, shall we? Maybe we'll make Halloween project orange, you know, because Halloween. Two, transform sounds. So the idea here is that you're going to make, create sounds that are spooky. Okay, they may not start spooky. They might just be an animal sound or a sound from something around your kitchen or something. There's going to be a few different ways that we can play with this. 3 ways to play. 1, work alone. 2, let me work on your sounds. 3, let everyone work on your sounds. I feel like we should make a game out of all of my typos. And maybe the people that have the best pronunciations of my typos wins something other than just love. Step 3. Make something. Because we are all about making things here. And this one's easy. Okay, so I'm just kind of summarizing this last one for the sake of maintaining some screen real estate here and not making this overwhelming for people as they come in. And that is just kind of labeling this last one, sample stems and music. So let's see if we can just kind of bring this down a bit. You guys see that? I think you can still see that. All right, so the idea here, and I'll catch up with you here in chat in just a sec. The idea here is that I guess maybe we'll need to take this down just a little bit in size, because I'd like to put, is that too small? All right, Transfer Pants, 45,000. Saffron Works, Nate the Sound Ninja. Thank you all for being here. Good morning. Good morning, Nate. Awesome. I appreciate the host, Nate, and I wish you luck in your work endeavors. I actually got pinged last night. You went live. I haven't had a chance to go see what you did, but you have a good stream. And also, how is the new machine coming along? I promise I won't distract you with a ton of questions. Okay, cool. I'm glad you're sticking around. I'm still catching up with chat here. I'm a couple minutes behind. I have a few sounds for the Halloween project. Nice. Some of the tension stuff and the meat punch. Nice. Got some good ideas hitting my glass bowl sink with a toothbrush this morning. Awesome. Might have that blender sound. Yeah. I agree, Nate. That would be good. Oh, thank you, OhmLab. Just a gentle reminder for those who are not currently subscribed, please subscribe so you can continue to play along with all of this. Soon, video on demand and stuff is going to be mostly for subs, as well as a lot of the sample swap and whatnot that's going to be happening. And it definitely pays for itself very quickly. It's only a few bucks a month, right? That out of the way. Awesome, Saf. Nice. I can't wait to see the new website. Good morning, Purple Pros. How are you? It was just a Donkey Kong Country gaming stream for nostalgia. Awesome. Gotta love Donkey Kong. Speaking of Donkey Kong, maybe we should pull in the Wonkadonk sound from the last stream. Zev was in here and requested that we play, or suggested rather, that we play with a donkey bray, which is what we did. Made a funny sound. Had a green color bath. Awesome. Just still can't figure out the waves thing. Yeah, that's a bummer. There are still things that I have not finished installing. Like, for whatever reason, my FabFilter stuff license didn't transfer over, and I haven't searched that down yet. Haven't hunted it down yet. There's just it just kind of all of it feels like a hassle eventually when you hit that wall. It's just the truth. Oh wait, this one is actually. All right. I think you guys can see all of that on the screen. I'll make a better little overlay for the actual stream or something later. But this is the gist, you guys. Find some sounds, make some sounds, record some sounds. I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas today. And there's also going to be kind of a bouncing back and forth between producing content from scratch very quickly, just as layer elements, and how to bring those things together, alongside using some library content that a lot of you have out there and have either never touched or touched once, like 6 or 7 years ago or 12 years ago or 3 years ago, and just never went back to it because there's so many other things to play with. So anyway, you're going to find some random sounds. Then you're going to transform sounds, okay? And how you go about doing this is completely up to you. If you want me to play with some of those sounds live in a stream, send them to me. If you want other people to play with these sounds, either send them to me and I will share them, or just post a link in the chat. If you do not already have it, a freesound.org account is a good way to move sounds around. Just an idea. It's a free thing. It's a community thing. And it's a fun thing. But it's up to you how you get those things to us. So if you want to work on them alone, don't share what your sounds are. Just find some cool sounds. But if you want to play along and have a bit more fun with everyone, you can send those to holler@ohmlab.tv. You can post links in the chat. You can post to the Discord. You just let us know what you're wanting. And then we, as a group, will take it from there collectively. And then the third step is going to be make something. So this is going to transpire over the next few weeks. And as we start to get more and more sounds, more ideas will start churning, and then there will probably be this kind of mad production frenzy towards the end. The make something is a really cool part of this. So if we can get enough people involved and enough people motivated to follow through with making something really cool and creative, and then that sparks the next idea, and they keep churning out things, depending upon what level of content we have at the end of this whole thing, is what's going to dictate what we do with it, right? If it's big enough and worthy enough, we could even make it a sellable product for like a short period of time to fund something for the community specifically. And that would give you a chance to get through the entire process of you know, from ideation to sale, the entire process, if you have not done so already. All right, so the things that you can make. Samples, right? So you're taking one sound and you're transforming it into another sound of some kind, or you're taking more than one sound and you're combining them into another new sound. Stems, which are contiguous pieces of audio, and they're more than just like one shots or a single occurrence of a sound, right? That's kind of the idea there. Stems could also mean a long kind of free form thing, right? If there's a simple thin atmosphere or something, that might be more along the lines of a sample for most people, right? But what if it's like 6 minutes long? Then people start to think of it a little bit differently. Anyway, samples, stems, and then music. Music is really super flexible too. Okay, this can be a really crazy, haunting, atmospheric kind of soundscape that goes for 10 minutes or something, or it can be a 3-minute weird Halloween banger, or it could be some kind of intro or outro for a podcast or a radio show, or maybe it's a trailer for a movie or whatever. We're going to be talking about the different ways in which you can use sounds like this and how they can sync to screen elements. Okay, so syncing to video. Yeah, just kind of getting a better understanding of both sides of the audio world and what happens after you have an idea and you make something in your DAW. Because we are building an army of ninjas here. Oh, Nate, don't be so sorry to hear that, dude. I still have hard drives full of, you know, plugins and sound packs and stuff that I've never even had the chance to open because people are always sending me stuff for reviews and stuff over the years. So, you know, I'm sure that that FabFilters has sent me more than one round of licenses over the years. Yeah, it sucks to juggle between computers, but at least you have the second computer, Nate, so that's good. Yeah. Oh, thank you, OhmLab. Don't forget about OhmLabMusic.com. New sounds for you if you need it. Definitely want to be a part of this. Going to go and work on music. All right, dude. Swing by when you can. Right now, we're going to start jumping into some stuff to get rolling. I thought that it would be good to take a look at some stuff that a lot of people have and they don't quite know how to use, either in the music projects that they're working on right now because they don't necessarily work in the cinematic realm. But you know, everyone loves interesting sounds, especially in music, right? That's why Foley and found sounds do so well in so many different types of music, right? They're these textures and little bits of ear candy that we don't expect, right? And they seem a bit out of place, and it's just the loveliest thing when it all combines well. And this is also a good way to kind of show off and talk about the different types of sounds that are typically used in this kind of space and how to get them there, right? Because it's all about processing and I mean, of course, there's like a dash of discovery that you want to keep in there, but there's just a lot of old tricks. There's just a lot of old methods that bring us to these hauntingly memorable sounds. Subvids, welcome. All right, so the idea here is not to just be like scary or gory or anything. It's to trigger emotions. That's really what this is about, and it's a great opportunity to learn about the emotive qualities of different sounds and techniques. But it's also a brilliant place to learn more about psychoacoustics and how they affect so many things. It's not just like mood, it's also straight up perception and stuff. So we'll take a look at maybe some of the evolved stuff from Heaviosity. And I was thinking we could dig into some damage. For those of you who are not familiar with damage, this is some kind of distorted and twisted like junkyard and random metal things and broken instruments like pianos and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. And this will hopefully begin sparking some really interesting ideas, because every single person is surrounded by interesting sounds. You just have to become aware of them and then capture them somehow. So let's just talk briefly about what these different things are that people feel are like the essentials in a toolkit for this type of work, right? There's rhythmic stuff, and rhythmic stuff is like, it's pretty self-explanatory what rhythm is, right? But to get people immersed and have it feel like it has like a true cinematic, dramatic quality to it, you need to step away from the norm, right? It can't just be, you know, drumsticks, for instance. It's got to be some kind of funky twist on drumsticks, and same with the horn, and same with the whatever's being used as cymbals or whatever, right? We're going to start substituting or layering sounds, and these are the things that they're basically cues for the listener, right? Oh, this is unique, tune in now, and they do. So here are some fairly plain sounds. Go up another one. Trying to remind myself what all these different key switches are. Okay, so when you're playing inside of Kontakt, you'll see different colored keys, and that they just indicate that there's a different function associated with them, not just a different sound. So these are key switches over here. They're triggers for functions, and each one is going to do a slightly different thing. And if you roll over them and you have your little info thing turned on up here, you'll actually see what each effect is for the key switch. So this is delay, glitcher, delay, pitch envelope, rotator, range. So anyway, when you go into tools like this, you can quickly get an idea of like what kind of effects you might apply to a simple sound to get a kind of result that people are used to associating with certain types of feelings or whatever. And then once you get that, you can kind of start to decode just intuitively why those things are causing those emotions, right? The more you play with them, the more you're feeling them, obviously. And as long as you're staying tuned in, then it starts to come quicker and quicker. So for instance, glitching things, moving things in the stereo field, playing with pitch and delay. Those are the big ones here. And then, of course, distortion. And then when you start combining a whole bunch of these things, let's just start sweetening some of these. All right, so anyway, you start to get the idea of if you start to flip through just a few tools, you can start to get a sense of the type of effects or whatever that you're going to reach for those types of sounds. And then as you increase in complexity in the type of sound, usually the type of process that's being applied also becomes just a bit more complex. So getting into tonal type stuff, just grab one at random here. And then you've got tons and tons of these very simple things that you get to layer together. And we're going to talk about how you make these quickly with tools that are all, like they're available to all of us. So you can all play along with this challenge from beginning to end. I can even show you how to make these little things out of very simple sounds. These are just heavily processed simple sounds. And having done this for a while, I can tell you that a lot of these are the same sounds, just being processed differently, which is something that you can also borrow, like that approach. All right, so that's the rhythmic type of thing. The interesting stuff that I think most people will find the most appreciation for or enjoyment while actually learning about and developing are the stingers and the transitions. So I think stingers are this really interesting space in the audio world because when speaking about these types of elements in music, they're just little tricks. Like they're just little things that we do, right? If you're a guitarist, you're kind of grinding on a riff and then you take the side of your pick and you drag it down one of the strings, right? And you get this nice little shredding effect and it sounds really awesome. It's very dramatic. It really grabs the attention of the listener. And you isolate that thing and it's a classic stinger in the sync world, right? In television and movies. Now, if it's long enough or there's a small, pitch bend in it or something like that, then it can be a transition too. But these are very open. So here, let's just click through a couple of these. Yeah, Saffron, send it through. Subvids, do not be afraid, just have fun. And remember, ask questions. Everyone here, I'm sure, is willing to share some ideas, help you get unstuck if you get stuck with something. This should really be about exploration and discovery if you're new to it. So see, these tiny simple sounds, right? They're very, very simple, but it's how you end up using them that does something really great. So let's just take this piano, for instance. Classic, right? See, now you can make those types of things from scratch very quickly on your end because it's just, dragging your finger up and down a keyboard. You don't even need to know how to play an instrument, and you get that kind of, chaotic swirling thing. And then you can build more than just a simple stinger out of that. You could build an atmosphere out of that, or you can chop it up and layer it with some sort of crazy ARP or something and get really creative. Just simply reversing things. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today, is just taking a look at the concept of what are all of the classic elements in this space, in this kind of tension, horror, dark realm that we find a lot of the mood being developed from in the Halloween season, right? Because without the sounds, it's really not that scary at all. Okay, bowed cymbals. So bowing something is just it's just too easy. It's too easy to make good stuff. I'm going to catch up here really quick. Paul, welcome. Guy, welcome. Brains, Sid's brains. Welcome, guys. When you drag a bow across something, something magical happens. You feel the texture of that rosined bow. And it doesn't have to be something technically musical like a cymbal from a drum kit like this. It could absolutely be a flat piece of metal. I've done it on broken glass and all sorts of things. But yeah. And once you have a couple of these sounds, you can start to play with how you're actually using them. Right. Again, a lot of these things in these large libraries are the same sounds being processed many different ways. So that same cymbal bow, for instance, will probably be in this directory in this library again and again and again and again and again. It's just that the pitch has been affected, and in one it's heavily saturated, and another one is drenched in reverb, and another one it's reverse, and another one it's layered with another one, right? And this is the stuff that will really kind of, or where we'll kind of end up today, I bet, is where we'll have textures and tones and rhythmic elements mixed together in a smattering of ways to create some really interesting stingers and transitions and ideas. And then from those, larger scenes and ideas begin to develop. And along the way, we're going to play with the plugin that we're going to be taking a look at today is a nice tool, Reels from Audio Thing. If you guys are unfamiliar with Audio Thing, it's a great company. They make really nice things. Reels is a tape emulation that's it's just a little bit different. It's focused on reel to reel. And it's got 3 different tape types, but they're not modeling a specific model. This is Japan, Italy, and France. And they've got a 1.8 and a 3.75 on the tape speeds as options. Just to run through the feature set really quick, your tape elements are up here. Your crosstalk and wow and flutter and saturation. Your noise is over here. These are pretty nice just for noise. So you don't have to have any of the warble and stuff being introduced. You can just add a little bit of tape machine noise and hiss to a project if you want. It's just very nice, the way that they have it all thought out here. Echo, in case you're looking for a tape delay effect, because you can get that here. You can even do a wet only, so you can do parallel processing with this pretty easily. Master control, of course. Limit, you can even switch it into mono, and then there's an input gain as well. And then there's the record and stop and the speed feature. Okay, when you stopped a reel-to-reel back in the day, they didn't just stop like a cassette tape recorder. They actually wound down. And the same is true when you started them up. For those that have played with them, you kind of know that there's like this kind of bit of a ramp up and a ramp down, right? And you can use that to your advantage in all sorts of areas of sound design. But I think what I'd like to do today, because I think when other people are looking at this, and we can do a bit of this too, we can put it on some Rhodes and some electric pianos and see how easy it is to make a lo-fi hip hop beat or whatever. But what I'd really like to do is just take a look at the more of the psychoacoustic angle, or the cause and effect of different types of warping or degradation or aging that we're intentionally integrating into sounds, and why we're doing it and what the result usually is. Because a tool like this on the surface, like, it's got a bunch of, in my opinion, a bunch of like, oh yeah, material, right? Like, of course it's good for this, and this. But I like using stuff really creatively. So we'll go a bit beyond that today, hopefully, with the sounds that we're making, and process them with some tape stuff, so they get a bit more character. All right, so we took a look at those in the Heaviosity world. There's actually a couple of iterations, because this is it's not just a popular product line, but it's still really relevant. I don't even know, a decade we've had Evolve and the mutations. Like, they haven't changed in that time. I mean, there's been a couple of like compatibility updates, but that's it. And they're still being used because our processing tools keep getting better and better and better. Oh, Paul. Oh, hey, you know what? You don't have to hate me. I mean, you can hate me a little bit less, because I'm always trying to work the deals for you. So here you go. I always, I feel both equal parts good and bad about showing awesome toys. I know their effect library is great. Don't run out and grab them all, because we'll review more stuff and we'll get you more deals and stuff. That's kind of how it goes. So right now it's today only. If you do go grab reels, it's 30% off, and you get Isotope, Trash 2, and the new Carbon Synth tossed in for free. Oh, see, now you love me. That's great. Outer Space Echo. Yeah, absolutely. And Frostbite. Yeah. Link is in the chat. Should work anyway. Let me just click on it for you. Yeah, it works. So there you have it. And you'll notice that I actually send a lot of things through to the Plugin Boutique, just simply because they're really easy to work with, number one. But also, on top of that, it's nice to have an online repository for all of your licenses and updates and stuff. Nate and I were just talking about it. When you get a new machine or whatever, and you have to find all your licenses for all of your plugins. And if you've been doing this for a lot of years, you've got like hundreds of them, and it's it's difficult. Plus, you earn credits and stuff when you shop. So eventually, some of the things that we show off here will just ultimately be free, and then you get even more free stuff with it. So hey, Zev, what's up? Oh, and the wave box is great too. Yeah. All right. So anyway, you guys enjoy the big discount, and we'll circle back and we'll open up Reels many times today, and we'll take a look at it and what it can do. Zev, we're getting spooky. You're just in time. We're going to be talking about how to make a whole bunch of different stinger types, and then start bringing those things together with random junk percussion, FM synthesis, that type of thing. All of the really good, juicy nuggets in this neck of the audio world. And you know, I'll share something with you. Last night, I'm wrapping up the last session of the day with a client, and I got a boogie, so I'm like closing up windows and drawing down curtains and stuff, and the little plastic piece at the bottom of the string, the pull string on the curtains, on the blinds in here, they tapped a spring, like a base spring, on an arm similar to this mic one. I've got a light over here in the office that does the same. It's got a kind of this articulating arm, but it has a couple of springs exposed, and the little piece, well, actually I think it's wood, not plastic, but it touched and dragged, just skittered, if you will, across the spring of this arm, and it made the best sound. So I'm going to, after the stream today, I'm probably going to lean over there and capture a whole bunch of takes with that, and we'll make a little, make a little something with that. Oh, Zev, yeah. Here, I'll post it again. It may have already disappeared in... Oh, actually, you probably arrived right after I posted it. That's the funny thing about... That's the funny thing about Twitch, right? All right, so I was just mentioning to them before you walked in. We're going to be taking a look at Reels from Audio Thing, and it's tape emulation. It's reel to reel. It's got a whole bunch of awesome things that are relevant for a lot of different things. And today only 30% off. Plus, if you do pick it up today, there's the bonus of Isotope Trash 2 and the new Carbon Synth for free. Okay. There's too much for sale today. Right? Yeah, well, stick around. There's going to be there's so much interest on both sides. Like, people watching reviews love them, and then the people that are receiving the reviews, you know, for their sound packs and plugins and stuff, love it too. So I'm already getting buried. And we'll be probably opening this up just a little bit and taking at least a brief look at something new in pretty much every stream from here on out, except for maybe silent streams that are coming up soon at night. But yeah, there will be a lot of different fun little deals and stuff flying around. So, all right. Rain, you might be the only dude on the planet without trash too. It might be true. You can grab it today for free if you grab the other things, the reels, which I think is a 30% deal. And then you also get carbon. Yeah, the eye candy is nice. It looks nice. Oh, the J37 is nice, and so is the Kramer from Waves. Those are both good. The biggest difference with reels is simply the slightly more modular approach, where you can have the motor and hiss completely independent of everything. And there's also an envelope toggle on it, which means basically that it's only going to trigger when audio is coming in. The tape types are not a specific model. So this is where it really starts to deviate. And we can talk about what these different modes are, but instead of emulating a specific reel-to-reel machine, there's Japan, Italy, and France. And if you're a big tape head, you can maybe suss this out, but like where it's coming from. But there's also a tape echo here with a wet only, so you can do some parallel processing easily. It's got a little mix master mix and a limit mono switch and a pre-gain in here. And then it also has a very accurate recreation of the stop and start feature of a reel-to-reel. So instead of a cassette or disc or whatever, as soon as you hit stop, it stops and play is immediate. In the reel-to-reel world, it's not. It takes a small amount of time for it to ramp up in speed when you turn it on, and it also takes a little bit of time for it to slow down and stop completely. And that, of course, is heard. That's audible, right? So you get that tape slow down and pitch warble thing. So anyway, it's got some really nice things built into it. And then it's also got a randomize feature, which is just a unique thing to put onto a tape plugin like this. So from a sound design perspective, it kind of quickly becomes a no-brainer just for that, because it gives you a chance at discovery, and you can actually find some extremes in this. And the way that we're going to look at it isn't just like, hey, let's toss this on some keys and make a lo-fi beat. We're gonna put this on some weird kind of freaky horror stuff, since we're working in the Halloween theme right now. So yeah, we'll circle back to this several times over the next few hours. Paul, me until today. What is a silent stream? A silent stream. I'm gonna start doing them soon. I don't know. Maybe this week if I'm feeling it. Maybe next week. I'm just not really gonna talk, and I'm just gonna fire it up. I'll fire up a stream. I work late oftentimes when the creative juices are flowing, and I do some pretty interesting things. I'm honestly, the other thing that's holding me up is I haven't heard back from a couple of the folks that I work with to know what is and is not okay to show publicly before release, because I work with companies that y'all play with their stuff. I'm not totally 100% sure as to what I can and cannot show tool-wise with beta versions and whatnot. So I just want to keep everything on the up and up. So, but that's what the silent stream is. Chequitas bank account. It sounds like you're yelling at us. Oh, me too, Paul. Yeah, dude. Oh my goodness. Yep. Absolutely. Plenty of toys. All right, so let's get out of the stinger thing and let's just trip down to damage really quick. And this will be kind of eye-opening for some if you've never really played with this type of thing. And I don't know if we really need to, I guess we can click into a rhythmic beat really quick just so you can kind of get the idea. Let's do maybe an industrial, kind of give you the idea of this type of sound, and then we'll just kind of dissect it really quick. And then, of course, you know, there's key switches, abilities to play around with the amp sequencer and the loops and an array of effects. So really what this is, it's a combination of junk sounds, used as percussive elements and drum loops, that type of thing, mixed with some like some synth basses and stuff like that. So what we're going to do then is we're actually just going to look at a couple of the individuals here. Let's see. I guess we'll just try these first. So organics. And the reason why I want to take a look at them really quick is just to give a couple of ideas of the types of sounds that you can go find, and then what those sounds actually look like, right? Like how short they are or how big they are and why, because that's super important. Got a survivor or something, huh? So think about this. You may not have the same exact sounds, but let's just click on a few of these at a time and think about what things you might have in either your garage or your kitchen. Garage, metal camping plate, right? Like to eat off of. Baking pan, like a cookie sheet. A pot. A storage container, like a Tupperware or something. Again, like maybe a Tupperware or something, right? A coffee pot or like a teapot. What could this one be? It's pretty simple. I'm gonna say maybe a toilet paper roll thing, right? The thing that the toilet paper roll goes onto, tapped on the side of like a plastic cup or something with the mic on the inside. Oh, okay. So anything that's like a shaker type thing, any kind of container plus rice or lentils or beans or some of each or whatever. Make it an odd shape. Top of your range mixed with your favorite half open hi-hat. Some of these are just hi-hat. These are why everybody loves guitar rig. These could be anything. These could just be white noise. And you could always click into the backside of a contact instrument and start to discover what it is. This looks like maybe it's a snare. We could turn a whole bunch of stuff off and find out. But to me, it sounds like it's probably a snare. All right, the last thing that we should take a look at before we leave this contact world and start making our own stuff is kinetic metal. So these are a really nice little place to play as well. Oh, we should go back to damage for just a second and play with a couple of piano hits too. So this is like metal in motion. If you were to kind of sum up what kinetic metal is, it's metal in motion in different ways, right? But something that they all have in common, you know, let's set this in motion here really quick. So the movement obviously is adding change over time, but it's doing something else, right? It's sucking you in. The sound itself sucks you in because it's so interesting, and you, like maybe your brain is trying to figure out what it is, or maybe it's just too interested to even go there. But then the fact that it continues to change and you can't predict that change, it automatically translates to evolving in our mind. Like it's just this evolving thing and we can't figure it out, so we're just going to be mesmerized by it. And that is the stuff. That's the stuff that you're chasing. So we'll talk about how to do those. So I'll pick a few sounds at random here, and while I'm doing that, I think that you guys should jump over to free sound and see if you can find a couple of things that you'd like me to play with. What I'm going to do is, oh, I forgot, we're going to look at, just really quick, in damage, we're going to look at a piano really quick. This should also kind of spark some ideas. What would that be under? Percussive? Hybrid? We could also do the exploding cars really quick. That's fun. Actually, just to show off the effect of something like distortion. Or reverb in this. All right, exploding cars. Then we'll go make some stuff. Because you can't pass up exploding cars. You can also kind of see very quickly why you want to put stuff into a sampler instead of just playing with one shots or whatever in your arrangement window, right? All right, so before we start playing Foley, I would like to also just pull up FM8 and we'll play some FM stuff. So maybe we'll make just a tiny little stinger kind of thing that we can play around with while we process some kind of Foley. Why don't some of you go over to freesound.org or start digging around on one of your drives and let me know if there's a sound that you come across that you want me to dig into. You can send sounds through to holler@ohmlab.com if you like. I like, oh, Guy has got one. Excellent. I will check this. Love this sad little trumpet. I know, isn't it awesome? Saf, is that when you think the sale's going to happen is November? Did you hear something? All right, so this one comes from Guy.
Love Radio 69.1. Yeah, Love Radio. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Love Radio.
Okay, we could do that. All right, so FM is so desirable for this type of thing because you can get into weird places easily and quickly. But the other thing is that subvids, excellent. I will check that out next. The other thing is that you've got the easy morph over here and the arpeggiator and stuff. You can just get somewhere with your sounds almost instantly inside of FM8. I know a lot of people find it to be very freaky, but it doesn't have to be. Let's just work with some sine waves for a minute. Let's turn on oscillators F, E, and D. Let's set E to maybe like a 0.5. And then we'll detune it maybe just down slightly. And let's drop D 2 octaves. And let's go up slightly on that one. And then F we'll just bring down just a touch. Give it a little bit of release, some attack. Let's feed this in here like this. All right, so a sine wave like this. Simple. Gonna add in a little 1 octave down. A little more 2 octaves down. So the detuning gives it a little bit of motion. Turn this up more. Okay, so when you click and drag to the left or right of an oscillator, each one of these letters is an oscillator, you're feeding an audio signal into it. So this right here is our carrier. F is a carrier, E is a modulator, D is a modulator. But in the FM8 world, we call them operators because they can do both. So this is a carrier, but if we wanted to, we could feed F back into E and get into that infinite loop area. If you drop in something just above an oscillator, this is feedback. So it starts to feed an audio signal back into itself and then back out to the output. What is being fed back in is then being further processed by E and D. So you achieve noise quickly. And sometimes that's great. So bear with that tiny bit of shrill for just a second. I'm going to jump over to the Easy Morph tab and play with it. Okay, so this is some deep rumbly stuff here. I'm going to put an LFO on this. We're going to roll, oh boy, let's see here. Maybe like 80% depth or something. We'll see. Let's go over to the mod tab. We'll assign LFO1 to it. So that is F that we're wanting to modulate. Oh, except for it's the feedback of F, of course. So I don't want, let's see. Yeah, it's not going to work if we just do that. So how do I want to do that? Let me think. Maybe I'll just do it in my DAW. I guess I'll have to. So what I'm wanting to do is modulate the feedback here. So I'm just going to do that. So easiest way to find something in a beast of a program like this is just to go into your automation lane and turn on latch and then move it. So we've got it. I just move back to read, click in here. So now I've got that parameter on lock. So I will bring this down, bring it up. Let's see here. Let's say we're going for like a 16 bar segment or something. We'll bias it. And maybe we'll start from like there and go to here, something like that. So next thing we need to do is just drop in a note. Maybe somewhere down here. Cool. Okay, and we'll just bring this out to, like I said, like 16 bars or something to play with. So it's going to evolve very slowly. And you know, who writes horror in 120? That just doesn't happen. Let's switch this down to like maybe 80 or something. So we're going to watch this feedback parameter change over time. And we're going to have something slowly evolving in the background, which is creating tension, and it's pulling someone in as they listen. I'm just adding a little bit of chorus here. Maybe just a touch of the delay on there. Okay. Okay, so we might just kind of play with this spot right in here. I think this is kind of where we're going. I'm going to catch up with you guys in chat for just a second. Lots and lots of toys, Paul. Yeah, subvids. The silent streams is exactly like just looking over my shoulder or sitting next to me while I work. We don't really talk about it, but you know, you get to see everything that's happening. We invented it, but he had to listen to it all day. Oh man. I remember those days, Paul. Absolutely. Zev, so those contact instruments that we were talking, or that we were looking through, the Heaviosity Evolve libraries, I'm sure they probably do. You'd have to look at the comparison. If you go to the Native Instruments website and go to the contact page, there's a compare or comparisons tab, and you can click on that and you can actually see which item is included in which version of the bundle that you're about to buy. I do the ultimate. Every few years, I update everything. Those Heaviosity things have been in there for like 10 years. Damage was like 2012, I think, when it came out. So what would that be, like Contact 7 or 8, something? Kinetic Metal was a year or two later. I want to say it was more like 2014 or somewhere in there. But there are the comparison charts on the website that'll probably clue you in specifically. Paul, you're welcome. I'm glad you picked those up. They're fun. Soup for dinner this week. Very nice. I'll try harder to get you an even better deal next time, Paul. Yeah, Zev, like I said, especially if you're going down the road of sound design like you have been lately, having Complete is kind of like having the Adobe Creative Suite, you know, for the past 20 years, if you work in pretty much any aspect of design, right? It's just kind of the essential toolkit almost. Okay, so we've got more. Guy sent through the one of some people talking on the radio. Subvids sent through a link for some footsteps, so we'll check that really quick. Yeah, these are great. These are great. And you know what else? We'll have to take a look at the specifics of the license type, but we could always use something like this as a perfect example of one contiguous audio file that we can chop different footstep styles out of and use them immediately for sync purposes in that same moment inside of something like Audio Design Desk. One more thing that you're all going to want, but don't run out and grab it. There's going to be some deals, and there's going to be a way to get into it for free. So, and we'll start looking at that in earnest next week. I've just been kind of holding off until we get through this first month, work out any kind of bugs, figure out who our new core key players are at our broadcast time, that kind of thing. Zev, I will see you tomorrow, dude. Have a good one. Stay inspired. Really looking forward to hearing tomorrow what you've come up with this week. Okay, so let's grab. We'll add some kind of movement to this, some kind of choppy movement or something to add some more tension. But we're going to, before that, add, excuse me, maybe something almost kind of shrill. Let's go up. It just kind of an odd integer here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to bring C up, and let me just stagger these. Okay, so E is the 1 octave. Maybe we'll bring that in like this and back it off just a little, and then D was the 2 octaves down. We'll stretch that out just a little bit more so the sub-presence kind of builds a bit, and then we'll leave mostly that in that space. And C, let's modulate C up with an LFO. So we'll mod C up. Oh, actually, I don't want it on a mod wheel, though. I just want... I think I just want it to be running kind of omnipresent. So I'm just going to run it through the LFO directly. And 15 is probably even too much. Maybe even just an index of like 4 to 6. Let's just see what this feels like. We're going to bring this down. We don't need to sync it, but we're going to bring it way down. What this is doing is slowly going to bring in... Oh, I need to juice it with at least 1, I think. I can hear it in there. Why isn't it kicking up here? This is... Oh, that's amazing. All right, let's add let's just kind of break a little rule here. All right, let's add a little something to the top of this. That little bit of sheen from C is coming through nicely there. Guy. You know what, Guy? Hit me up for some lessons, man. I will be happy to walk you through a few things that will help tremendously. Let's add some kind of a jangly thing or a scrapey kind of thing to get us rolling here. I don't need to be showing off any of those. Let's do ooh, doors. Doors could be really creepy. These are also very good for magic spells. Let's just take something random like this. So this is just bleachers. I'm sure you guys remember bleachers in the gymnasium of your school. Let's just slow these down to start. And I mean, like by a lot. Let's maybe stretch it out the entirety. 16 bars. No, let's not do that. Let's stretch it like 4 bars or something. sounds really artifacty. Let's do it by a couple. All right, if we are going to get anything out of this, we got to clean it up. You know, Guy, I should mention that I don't think enough people are transparent about these things. You know, when I was coming up, there was no like school for this type of thing. Like a lot of what I do, I've just kind of innovated or, you know, whatever. I know that I've been able to develop some mighty fine curriculum for different schools and stuff over the years, and have kind of translated these things into systems for people. But it doesn't mean that there's actually a right way or a wrong way. And I think once you actually fully embrace that, it takes a lot of pressure off, because oftentimes, like, it's not just the imposter syndrome. It's more like, you know, like, what the heck do I even do? Right? Like, I want to make cool sounds too. And you've got the passion, you've got the drive, you just don't even know where to start clicking or whatever. And following along with someone is a really good way to start to get over that, because you'll quickly see them fail again and again and again and try things and it just doesn't work. And then eventually you start to just kind of accept that you have to go through that process. And there's actually a great deal of well, joy for one, for me in those moments, because I like the discovery of it all, and I like failing. Oddly enough, I like falling on my face and having to start over, because I now know what I shouldn't do. Like, if I'm just approaching something with a blank canvas, sometimes I'll just throw something at it and be like, okay, that was gross. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to throw something else at it. Yeah. Whoa, searing flesh. What kind of flesh was it? Okay, so this sounds pretty big. So let's put this through a let's put this through a big one. And then let's also save this thing. Oh, that's just annoying. I kind of like the sheen on this one. All right, let's make it big. And you'll notice that I'm really not at all concerned right now about parallel processes with reverb or whatever. I'm absolutely designing for effect here. Not interested in protecting the original integrity of any of these sounds. Okay, and I think let's play with this. I'm gonna put a fade on the beginning of this, and then I'm gonna transform that fade into a speed up, and I'm gonna stretch that out just a little bit so it kind of comes across as something kind of powering up here. That might be a little bit too much. This might also be a decent thing to try our reels on as well. And I might even try it on after the reverb just to see what's going to happen if we bend those just a little bit. So I'm going to go for a horrible quality. So all the way over to France, which is it's a lot of movement and stuff. So we'll do some flutter on this. And I don't think we need any motor noise. All right, let's grab. Maybe something like this. I'm grabbing things at random. These are not meant to be like big decisions. Maybe we'll do just a little bit of granular on this one. Okay, I like the screechy nature of this one. And I'm going to shift down on this one just a bit. Oh, that's creepy. Let's keep that. And let's go for a haul on this one. We've got to start EQing these reverbs pretty tight because we're not savages. Something kind of clangy and reflective up here. Gonna take size, spread down, give it a fair delay. No, but I will. Oh, right, of course. So since I've already done this, I need to bounce in place before I can reverse. So I'll reverse this one. Cool, and I'll just move this over. Oh, I don't need to. Perfect. Okay. So on this one, I'm going to do two different things. We're going to put a stereo delay on this, and we're just going to move this away from sync. And grab a couple different ranges for these to operate in. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one will be in a large, dreamy kind of thing. And let's just EQ that and take off most of these. And some of these. All right, so you've heard me say this before in other streams, but one of the goals of what we're aiming for with these different elements that we layer are not things that we hear, but things that we feel, right? I mean, of course, we're going to hear them, but we don't want to hear them clearly. It's kind of the secret to all this. Something on high that I fried, but I called it flesh. That's awesome. What kind of flesh? Oh, God. And Heidi, you guys are great. Meat stab sound. Saf, send it on through in an email, man. Or you can post it here if it's linked somewhere. Send it on through, and I will add it. We'll play with it. You know what I just realized, Saf, is I'm not sure if I actually responded to the question that you had sent me a couple days ago, which was, I think it was, how do you produce like chatter sounds and water sounds with just noise? And I guess we can probably take a look at that in this too, because that's some good haunting material right there. All right, let's put some metal in here. Maybe like some chains or something, or that's always a pretty unsettling thing to hear. All right, let's just grab a few chains. We'll just drop them up here. And we'll just kind of scatter them. Maybe we'll stretch them all just a little bit. Let's delay this one a few. And let's just take this down a bit. Let's do you know, actually, that's a little bit better. And let's also, we'll just put all of these three into a quick stack so we can do a shared process on all of them. And on this, we'll just put a spring. What about a cheap spring? How about that? It's not nearly long enough. All right. So after it goes through something like that, we'll send it through something a bit more. Actually, I'll flip these two around. I'll put XT right above it in the chain. And on the XT, we can do a let's go analog. top. EQ these back in there. Chain, searing flesh, and meat stab. What are we scoring? We'll find out soon enough. We're scoring Halloween, I guess. Reels and trash too. Woo! Nice, Rain. Congratulations. And you bet, anytime. I'm happy to help out there. Saf, you sent. Okay, cool. Trash 2 is so cool. Yeah, so good. So good. I'm checking right now, Saf. So we got 2 of them here. Let's see what these sound like. Oh, and we're also going to grab these footsteps. And who was it? I think it might have been Subvids that sent through the footsteps, and then we've got another, I think, guy, if I'm remembering correctly, had this radio bit. There we go. All right, so let's just take a look at those sounds that you guys just sent through. Oops. I don't know where that just came from. There we go. Okay, so bow on stove. Where's the other one? I thought you sent through 2. I could have sworn I clicked on both. A meat stab and bow on stove. Where'd that meat stab go? Okay. Let me just jump back in there. Meat stab, I could have sworn. Oh well. All right, so bow on stove. Oh, it's so quiet. Let's hear this meat stab too. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, okay. We'll beef that one up. The footsteps. We could make those, we could maybe fit those in here. We might be able to do that. All right. Zaris, welcome. Yes, I did get those SAF guy. Would still probably invest in it though. The contest I'm in, I think that was one of the prizes too. Is that trash too that you're speaking of there, guy? Rain, still need thermal and Saturn too. If I might give you a bit of advice there, go for thermal. If you're just wanting to hoard some plugins, they're both great. I've used Saturn for years. Thermal's still pretty new, and I love it. It's great. I'm not just saying that because I'm always working with output, but because it's just, I think it just quickly earned the status of sound designer's best friend kind of thing, for a reason. Oh, dude, I wish I had a money tree too. I'd totally send you some. Trying to win the cymatics contest, huh? The everything bundle. Ah, look at you guys helping each other out. Hey, man, I won the Pinewood Derby too. Oh my goodness. And now you shred. That's awesome. Zaris, how you doing, man? Yeah, I'll turn up the gain on that the bow. Wait, is it a bowl or a bow? Also discovered electronic music, right? Yeah. Doing all right, Zaros. We've had clear skies for over a week now. I think everybody's feeling better here. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll turn up the gain on that a bit for you. So I've recently been learning about synthesis, sound design, electronic production. I haven't really been writing and releasing any of this discovery time, though. That's normal, Rain. That's totally normal. You're just picking up knowledge. It's a fatal error, says Kai. I don't know. If you're gaining knowledge, as long as you're staying, like as long as you're still in the hunt, you know, it's still a passionate pursuit. The stuff will be applied. Guy does have a point as far as iteration is king, though, right? Just doing something helps you do more things. But it's not always a race to see who has the most stuff bounced. So awesome. Hope you enjoy it, Paul. We'll toss it back on here on the screen in a bit too. Secretly, before you discovered electronic music. Oh yeah. Yeah, the tape echoes is pretty nice. All right, you guys, I'm going to step away from the chat for just a second and make something else here. Remind myself of where we are here. I'm going to have to put in something kind of shrieky up here and make this other thing kind of minimal just because it's weird and harsh. right, so some of you wanted to see how we actually use in context some of these things that you have kicking around inside a kontakt but you've never used. So let's do that. Let's use some of those very things. How about we grab something from one of the Heaviosity suites? What in the world did I start with? Ah, yes. The F. Okay, this sounds a little interesting to me. All right, let's make this a lot more interesting. Nothing like a tremolo to give the whole thing a heartbeat, huh? Maybe even a bar. So this middle layer that we just added there from kontakt is interesting. I think we could use another really just kind of piercing thing from maybe like an FM. So let's just stick that way up on top here. And I mean, just not like shrill or anything, but just moving away from maybe sines entirely and just maybe doing like a saw and a soft square and just raise this like, I don't know, ratio of 7, I guess, maybe 7:1. No, more like maybe 12, 30. Let's just say we're going E to F, E, E into F. Let's just latch that really quick. So switch from read to latch, so I can just grab this input parameter without hunting for it. And then I'm going to go between, let's say maybe like, I don't know, 3 and 27 or something like that. We'll just grab a few spots here where we can create something interesting. We'll kind of start in one spot and meander our way to another one. And curve tool. Just make these a bit more human here. Three. All right, see what this sounds like. We're just going to slowly kind of bring in. Oh, well, obviously I also need to play a patch or something, right? Just auditioning the automation. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but sometimes I just write stuff into the arrangement window automation-wise and then play something over the top of it. Okay, this might be a good static point. I'm just going to add a few little glitch breaks here. And maybe right here. And maybe right here. Add a couple little glitches here and there. Okay, so I'm just going to go through, I'm just going to manually write in a few little glitches, and then we'll toss a note in there, and we'll bring it down so it's nice and subtle. So here's how we can go about doing this through FM. I'll put a couple in, and then I'll check and see if we're kind of in the realm that we're looking for. All right, so all good and all, but it's got to be a lot more than that. So let's just add a couple more in here. Tighten these up a bit. All right, so I'm just gonna scoot a couple of these in closer, and then we'll probably be good. There we go. Just like a little static interference, kind of weird glitchy thing. Just write a couple of those in, and then move back in. Every once in a while you add just a tiny little bit of specificity to whatever you're working on. And as I've mentioned this before, especially in the sync world when you're, tethering things to movement on the screen, everything starts to come to life in a really quick way. And all of your work all of a sudden becomes like super believable. Right? You're triggering feelings in people while they're watching and kind of surprised by it all. Cool. Just going to do a couple that are kind of gentle. For those who may have missed the link earlier, let me toss this back up there. We'll pull up Reels here in just a second. Today only. Grab Reels from AudioThing. It's a reel-to-reel tape emulation plugin. That's awesome. 30% off today only. And if you grab it, Trash 2 and the new Carbon synth are also tossed in. Trash 2 from Isotope. Yes, the Trash 2 that everybody uses. It's kind of the original iconic multiband distortion plugin. M. Rosin, thank you for the follow, and thanks for swinging by. You guys might notice that sometimes it's the same freebies between one plugin review and the next, or one sound pack and the next. And it's all just kind of in an effort to keep all of our partnerships sustainable. And I'm happy to approach more companies on your behalf. So, if y'all have things you're interested in, you just let me know. Because that's how this works. All right, let's put a note into this darn thing. All right, so maybe I'll do that. Speaking of reels, maybe we should toss it on this thing here. There we go. Now let's ramp up into this. Reels. Okay, so on this one, I'm thinking that a little extra hiss would be nice, but just in general, some harshness, and move it maybe from Japan to Italy here. I'm just gonna solo this. Hear that nice tape hiss? It's nice. So before and after, I'm just going to grab a halfway point, give it kind of an electric sizzle. And let's toss the envelope on here. So what that's going to do is, instead of just this omnipresent, like ever persistent hiss, you can hear it's kind of gone now. It's going to come back as soon as an audio signal hits the input here. So it basically bakes the sound, like it tethers the hiss to your audio signal, which is great, in my opinion. That's a good thing. Paul, see you next year. Come back and check out more toys. Well, I'm glad that the stars align for you, Paul, and that you got something on the cheap and that you got other things to play with too. I mean, putting something together like some reel-to-reel plus some really highly customizable saturation is a win. Getting the plugins everyone uses, maybe my music will start to sound acceptable, or at least like everyone else's. Oh my goodness. You have all the same tools that all the famous people have. Neighbor mowers. Now just buy followers. Where is that bot? That would be a trick, huh? No public tracks in your portfolio with 10K following. That's awesome. Oh man, if you were to get into busking, you could probably accomplish that. You can be a kind of a street noise artist or something and set up right in front of one of those big buildings downtown where all the people with the suits and ties walk in and out of all day. They might kick down. Where do you download the videos? What videos? Saves me going to the basement and hauling out my dusty techs. Donate to make me stop. Exactly. Oh, the Twitch videos. They're not downloadable right now. There is. I am working on something on the OhmLab music website right now. That's currently under wraps, but it'll be up soon enough. I'm gonna offer a different type of subscription. There are some things that are fun to do with Twitch, but I do believe that there are those of you that would like slightly different perks than what come with the Twitch thing. But anyway, I'll talk about that more probably next week. So Saf, there will at least be some options as far as how you subscribe or where you subscribe. But for now, you can watch them. And holding up my dusty decks. Yep, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's see what this sounds like as we add it back in like this. Yeah, if you just go to the main Twitch page, or the main OhmLab page on Twitch, twitch.tv/OhmLab, if that's not where you're watching from right now. If you go there and click on videos, and you'll see just a whole ton of them. Okay, so I do kind of like the electric kind of staticky thing here. I'm just going to spread it out a bit more. A bit more. Let's just solo that. And I want high density, high size, slow ramp up. Not that distant. I'd like it to be fairly present. Thank you. Let's take down this. So it's beginning to get a dimensional kind of immersive effect going on here. So while you guys are playing around with just general, like super loose boundaries on a challenge like this, with very little direction, and you're just kind of assembling some cool types of sounds. Once you start putting them together in a timeline, you'll start to get a feeling of where it could go. And then the best thing you can do for yourself is chase the textures, like the timbre and textures that you're envisioning or hearing in your mind's ear, what might go there in those spaces. Let's see. Oh yeah, footsteps. We were over here. Maybe some footsteps. And let's listen to this radio thing again.
Love Radio 69.1. Yeah, love radio. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, love radio.
That's some pretty creepy stuff if we slow it down. We could take one of these. How about we do? And how about we just chop? Now, we could toss this into a sampler. Or we could just do a... Let's just do that really quick. Do a quick sampler. And then I guess we could just ditch this. And then here, let's just do... Reduce our sensitivity here. We're going to get one on each transient-ish. Come on now. Really? Seems kind of silly to have to do something like this manually in 2020, but hey, whatever. See how close we are here? Oh my goodness, you guys are going to be so blown away by all the sync stuff that we start doing and the new skills that you're going to pick up so quickly. All right. All right, so we've got some steps, and we can start to score this in real time. Let's just pick a couple of footsteps that we like. All right, so I'll just kind of manually paste these out. All right, so we ended up with these notes. Now let's put them into a hall of some kind. Actually, let's do an H on this one. And then from here, let's just grab a something a bit more dungeony. That's what I'm thinking. That really brings that footstep to life, doesn't it? It really boosts the presence a lot. Now, you know, it would be interesting is if we sync up just a little bit of chains with that. Let's see what that looks like. And let's see if maybe, can we do that in Quick Sampler? I haven't played enough with the new one yet. I guess it doesn't matter. We'll just use the same MIDI instead. Let's find some chains really quick, just some super simple short chains. Chain. Okay, so it's going to be these two. It's going to be 2, and maybe this 8. And we'll bring those in. Can we do this? Oops. Okay, new idea. We'll bring these in on 1 track. And then we'll bounce them. Maybe we'll just listen to this really quick and make sure it sounds okay, and then we'll just play a little trick on logic here. This is a good way to get extra variations. This last one's pretty harsh. I'm going to take that out. I don't like that. But this is a fun little hack. So what you do is you take a couple of types of sounds that you want to bring into a single sampler if you can't get them in there easily a different way. We'll just glue these really quick. And yep, that's fine. So now what we're going to do is we'll bring this into a sampler. And we'll do an optimize just in case we want to do some kind of pitch bend or something. And I guess we don't really even need this track anymore. So now what we're going to do is just put looks like it's already done a pretty good job of slicing. What we're going to do though is take down the sensitivity so we don't have as many. And then that gives us kind of a round robin opportunity for layering with our other footsteps. Okay, so this is, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the other one was running from here, which was F1. So let's just bring this up to F1. And that should make our sounds kind of line up for the most part. If we were to bring this MIDI down, let's just see if that's correct. So now we have our chains and our footsteps connected. Okay, so now all we're going to do here to really seal the deal there is we'll take both those, we'll create a track, stack, sum that, grab the reverb, and just stick it on the entire stack. So now the chains and the footsteps have the same exact timing, and they have the same exact reverb on them, so they're in the same exact place. The other thing you could do, if you really wanted to, you could go into your sampler, and this is a super super picky kind of thing, but if you wanted to, you could even alternate like pan position left and right to kind of accentuate the idea of footsteps, but hey, whatever. Mind's ear, totally. Let's see what this has. You know what this channel needs here? I just realized. These sounds right here. It needs some bit crusher. And we could even do it after the delay and reverb just to keep things interesting. Oops. Yeah, just doing this for you guys definitely makes me excited to start showing off all the sync stuff next week. Okay, I think it's about time we start putting in the horror elements. We've added some tension and texture and tonality. Let's jump back into kontakt really quick. And from there, let's play with something. Kind of different. A pitchfork. That's nice. You know what I want? I'm going to go down to damage. There it is. You know what? I'm just going to move this up to the top really quick. And let's do one of the hybrid effects, and let's do a, maybe we'll do a piano. Ooh, maybe like that. It's a nice little surprise hit. Okay, so we'll call that something that we're going to stick. I want it to be kind of near the crescendo of our very first, that's here. So I guess just coming out of the peak maybe. And then on that, just play through this a couple of times, and we'll put a, we'll just loop where our new region is. And let's play. Take down the room a bit, leave the hall. Maybe even the close too, just to push it away from us a bit. That's a little bit better. Maybe just a touch more on proximity here. All right, let's hear what that sounds like in context. We could turn on MIDI chase really quick. MIDI chase notes on. Let's hear this in context. For those of you who don't know, you can turn on a feature called chase, and it'll pick up your MIDI mid loop. It's not always perfect, but it gets the job done. It actually seems like fairly decent timing, but I haven't actually heard it in greater playback. Here we go. Love it. Completely arbitrary hit sounds good right there. In preparation for the sync stuff that we'll be showing off beginning next week, I have homework for all of you. If you've always wanted to put together a high quality demo reel to show off work that you've done, whether it be music or sound or both, gather those things. There a way you could record damage sounds with actual recording? Yes, absolutely. Let's jump back into damage really quick. I'm going to open up a new instance and just show you the actual samples in there. It'll probably be pretty eye-opening. Yeah, it is kind of like Silent Hill, isn't it? Yeah, so let's just do like, let's do one of these noisy ones first. All right, let's do a menu on this instead of a single. And we'll just go into the industrial. So let's find a sound. These are all just drums that have been processed. Like I could show you how to do these types of things in no time. You just let's just take a kit at random. May not be the right kind of kit, but it's close. So we're just going to put a bit crusher on there. This probably has a little bit of pitch on it too. Right, and then you just put some verb on it. I mean, compression as well, but you can even play around with doing that after your reverb. And just do like a medium or something, and then just do maybe a plate. Right, it's actually pretty easy to beef up drums like that. And then when you actually put it into something like a contact instrument or whatever to kind of replicate that same effect, you just want to keep it very, very short and tight. And then you also want to toss it through some reverb or whatever to make it kind of cream together with the other things easily. As far as more Foley type stuff, Let's do a, oh wait, that's, I'm looking for like maybe just like the noise ones as a quick example. Metal. Be a good example as well. Where are we here? So let's just say you tapped the top of your stove instead of having a bow on something. You had a plate or something there, right? EQ that, put it through some reverb. It starts to sound like this. Maybe a pan. This could easily just be maybe like two knives or metal like dowels and or like rebar kind of thing, and a metal plate of some kind, just like kind of dropped from a very low or short distance on a table or something with a towel underneath them. Or if you could suspend something, kind of like you would like a triangle or something like that, and just hit it with a piece of metal. I mean, it could be a wrench and a metal file or something that could have that same kind of sound. You put it into some reverb and it just sounds legit. That would be two objects striking. Sounds like when I bang the rack in my oven. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. That's just exactly it. You can get these same exact sounds. And you don't always know what the source sounds are in a contact instrument, but you can get pretty close to discovering what they really are. You can come in here and you can turn off everything and you can listen to what each one of these sounds actually sounds like. And you can also see exactly where these are. So if you're interested in knowing what maybe it sounded like originally, you can do that too. Oil drum. The thing of that's so interesting about these is that they're probably a lot shorter than you would expect. I'll give you a little idea of what I mean. Let's do, I don't know. Let's see what this one is all about. Again, those are just drums. Metals, hybrid. I love this animation. When you get a high velocity hit, it breaks the screen here over the waveform. All right, so if you were to go hunting for these, you can go into your wave editor and look at where this is. So users shared, damaged library, samples, blah, 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 blah. Hit sting, W2 echo junk tail. So let's go find that. Uh, 001, samples percussive kits, hit sting W2. Where'd that go? Which one? Samples, percussive, blah, 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 blah. We may not actually see it in here. We would have to unpack it using their decompiler. But anyway, I'm sure there's probably a little hack that you could look up online to figure out how to unpack that easily. You can also just download those individual things or load them into Kontakt as well. But honestly, all you really have to do is start going through and turning off effects. It's the easiest way. You don't have to go hunting for things on your computer. You just start to slowly strip away all the different things that they've put on top of it. And when you do that, you don't really need to worry about any of the scripting that's happening on the back end of this, because those things are really only toggled on once you start engaging with the interface up here. So if you turn off all the effects here before you jump into the back, and then turn off anything else that might be on, you know, compression, saturation, that type of thing, then you quickly start to arrive at what the original sound was, and then it gives you the ideas of or a fairly good idea of what exactly you need to put into something like Kontakt to get the same kind of results. To make something work very percussively like this, I would really recommend just keeping them very, very short with like almost no release. Just barely avoid the click, right? And when you're in that spot, it's going to sound very like a short stop and truncated, and it's going to sound wrong. But as soon as you put just a little bit of distortion on there, it'll stretch it out just a little bit with the harmonics, and you put a little bit of delay on there, and you know, it takes off that hard edge, and then you put just a little bit of reverb on there, and that weirdness is gone, and it just sits really, really nice. So nicely. So VC Carbon now loaded. Record in the shower. There you go. There you go. Yeah, new sounds without gear. Listening in a car, my chauffeur says Chris has a nice voice. I have to go soon. Well, we will see you soon, Purple Pros. I hope you have a good day up there. Hope you're having some nice weather in the lovely land of Canada. Oh, Saffron, did you just get rid of my one and only chance to get 10,000 followers for super, super cheap? Man. Is there a way of swapping out your own samples in something like Damage and taking advantage of the processing? Absolutely. And this is something that I talk about a lot in borrowing circuitry, borrowing mapping, borrowing programming. You can do this with your synth patches too. You just swap out your own wavetables for something that's already programmed. Here's your mapping editor. There's really no way to hide what's inside of your instruments from people. So it's quite literally each one of these things is a sample. Quite literally. So all you have to do, if you want to toss a sound in there, let's put metal. Let's put that in there. That kind of fits the theme. And this is a Damage per kit, so this is a C1. Let's just take C1 out for just a second. And let's take off this one too. There's actually a couple of samples here layered. So we're just going to take both those out really quick. And then I'm going to add this one to it. I'm going to drop it right on C1. Okay, so now there's only a single sound there. right? It's just that easy. And you can start to kind of gauge pretty quickly if your sounds are within the same kind of length. You know, getting a theme to match is one thing, but getting things to line up timing wise can be a little bit tricky with some of these. But doing this is going to just give you a lot more confidence in your own sounds, your own sound selection, or your own sound design, and it's also going to give you just a really quick way to take your sounds to entirely new places. If your ears aren't quite trained up, or you don't have the knowledge yet of how to process things or how to assemble the right plugins in the right order to achieve those kind of effects, you really can't beat this, right? Oh, good. Thank you for sticking around, Heidi. It's always so good to have you here. Frozen in the snow, smiling. Canada. I appreciate you, Pros. Thank you. Right? Isn't that super useful, Subvids? It's a really neat way to just learn, right? And you can do that in most synths too, where you can load wavetables or whatever and just borrow all the programming. I'm going to toss this link back up in the chat because it's been a few minutes. This is a today only thing. So if you do pick up Reels, the reel-to-reel tape emulation plugin that we've been looking at today here and there, if you do pick it up today, it's 30% off the normal price, and then you're also going to get a copy of Isotope 2 and the new Carbon Synth for free. So boogie on over if you haven't done so already. Let's, just for the sake of getting the typical answers out for the typical kind of questions that people have about a plugin like that, let's just take a look really quick. Oh my, it's already the 30th. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in really quick like an electric piano or something. Shall we just do that? Classic, right? Here, we'll bring in a few so we don't get tired of listening to the same thing over and over and over. Maybe they'll actually work well together. We'll see. All right, so we've got these. Oh, is there a fourth? What was that? 20, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. 21 and 22. Okay, so they're all C. 70s, 90s. That's close enough for the BPM. Okay, so here's our piano, and let's toss reels on it and see what it sounds like. We're just going to add some old reel-to-reel to this. So when you pull up their manual, it breaks down the difference between the Japan, Italy, and France types, which is an interesting way to go about it. And they're kind of detailed here. So Japan, use tape, but with an overall better frequency response. Italy, new old stock, but with a limited frequency response. And France, overused and badly stored, very bad frequency response. So that said, everything changes along with those. And here we go. Yeah, put a little tape echo on that. Oh my goodness. I must be getting tired, you guys. All right, let's try this again. Japan. There we go. A, B that. So here it is before the processing. After. Let's slow that down a little bit. All right, let's try Italy. There's a bunch of cool presets in here to get you kickstarted, and then there's a randomized feature that we'll check out here in just a sec too. Just for clarity's sake, let's keep all the same settings and just audition the 3 tape types too. So I'll switch over to the really messy one. Wow, we just went from tape to VHS. Yeah, with a lot of the playing around that I've done with this so far, I've found that moving between the tape types is not just like, at first it might seem like it's kind of just an intensity thing, but there really is a difference in the way that the different wow and flutter and ducking and harshness and crosstalk and stuff all actually behave. So I think there might be some kind of a like a mod curve being applied there. I'm not sure. Scripting is beyond me for how the GUI includes the effects, etc. Yeah, well, scripting has an actual language, and then there's also just like some basic functions in there that you can actually get started with and not feel quite as intimidated. We can take a look at that maybe. Not the next stream, because we're going to be too busy in the next stream because we got a couple cool things happening, but and a guest stopping by. But next week, I think we could probably dig into a little bit of that inside of Kontakt, or in Kontakt. I think people would like it. 39 to me. I'm not sure what that is. I love how the features are like loss of clarity, harshness, and we're like, yep, need it. Yeah. We spent all this time like evolving to these perfect, pristine things, and then we just like, what if we made it sound like it used to? Oh, you know, there actually is a newer Kontakt. I'm just still on 5 here for whatever reason. I've got 6 player installed, and it is a little bit easier. If someone made a program that simplified it, they'd make a fortune. Yeah, there is 6. Yeah. Beautiful, right? Yeah, it's a nice sound, right? Most DAWs have stripped back sampler. Yeah, they're the universal. $39. Yeah. Oh, sorry if that's confusing. The reels is 30% off, not $30. I'm not sure what the total walkout price is. I'd have to go look on the website actually to know. I don't think I actually looked at the list price on this. Let's see if I can find that really quick here. Oh, it's actually supposed to be a 33% off. My bad. That's a 33% off discount. Yep. So my bad. Not a 30% discount, a 33% discount. Made a couple of instruments, but very, very basic. Yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with a basic instrument, that's for sure. The more complicated you make it, the harder it is to use on more things, for the most part. Sav. I made you buy it. Well, I hope you enjoy it and the new toys. She wants to take me out for food. Have a good one, everyone. All right, cool. See you, guy. Walkout is 39. Excellent. Good to know. Yeah, I think I just saw that you're like 30 in UK pounds, 39 in US dollars, something like that. I guess that's not bad for 3 solid plugins, huh? Hooked on phonics done good for me. I hear you, guy. I talk a little funny sometimes too. Enjoy lunch, guy. Or dinner, wherever it is you are. I forget. $200 Canadian, right? Oh my goodness. One small oil well if you're over in the Emirates, probably. All right, so we are going to just really quickly flip through a couple of presets, which is something that we don't normally do in this type of thing, but just to kind of give you a range on that same piano for consistency's sake. And then we're going to hit that randomize button a few times because I like random. Let's just, I'm just going to put a limiter on, which I always do before I start experimenting. So here we go. Play with some 80s echoes. It takes it way down, doesn't it? So the echoes are cool. And the tapes are awesome. Dirt mode is so dirty that we can't even get it. I think you probably get the idea. Let's randomize and see what happens. roll of the dice. They've already even put out a new version since yesterday. Update, rather. And of course, you can save presets, which means you can share presets. So, oh, dub fretless bass. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, so anyway, Reels is cool. And you've got till the end of the day today to pull the trigger on it if you want to. There's plenty of more things that we'll be looking at soon. Per the usual. Yeah, there's a nice feel to this. Like it feels like a scene. We could even maybe save these sounds and recreate a real scene in a score next week. It's got something interesting there. Okay, so let's add something kind of creepy, melodic though to it though, because this is just like, it just feels like a scene, right? Let's add something really maybe kind of haunting even. What should we do? Like maybe, maybe like a little toy piano or xylophone kind of thing maybe, or let's see what we can find. Let's see. What can we find? Let's try. Oh, actually, you know what? There might even be something in the actual library. Let's see what kids know. Toy. What is this? Let's try maybe different types of xylophones, maybe. Just something to play with. This one's already an F. I really thought I'd find like a toy thing in there, easy. Let's see what we've got in Kontakt really quick. I know I have a few libraries too if I wanted to plug in some of my hard drives that we could find something. Oh, right, that's just within the libraries, of course. I don't think Kinetic Treats is going to give us what we want. Maybe within the factory, though. Let's do a orchestral, and then percussion. Ooh, you know what? It might be fun just to play with some gamelan. Yeah. We could make that sound creepy, right? Let's see what we can come up with here. Let's just take this down a bit and see what happens, huh? Shall we? Okay, I think we might be able to get the tones out of this that we want, so let's just grab a little bit of this. And we'll stretch this out to whatever we want. Maybe we'll just go for the full 16, and then we'll just play it into the right space. Let's grab maybe some shaper box on this. Time. Let's do oh, actually, you know, before we do that, just move the whole line. All right, so hopefully that gave you guys a few ideas to play around with while you're out there searching for sounds, recording sounds, gathering sounds for our little community project. Just a reminder, we'll start with a little sample challenge. Just challenge you guys to get some sounds ready for use, and then figure out how you want to use those sounds. We've already got a couple from folks, and we'll probably start digging into those together in the next stream. When we meet again on Friday, we'll be doing a rather cool product review, sound library this time, and an artist interview to boot with the talented individual that made said library. So stay tuned for more on that. Yep, email to holler. Yeah, it is ours, in fact, Saf. So make sure that you stick around, because on Friday we will have some cool things happening. It's a beast of a collection. I can't remember exactly how big it is, but it's, you know, it's like over 10 gigs of just straight sounds. So it's going to be good. And Rick is a really great guy that is just very willing to share openly and transparently, and he's a pretty genuine individual, so he'll be receptive to whatever kind of questions you're asking, and he might even share some tidbits about how to even get started on this side of the industry that we play in. You know, I feel like everybody gets into it in a slightly different way. Everybody has slightly different experiences. And the more angles that we can come at this whole thing for you guys, the better. So I hope to see all of you on Friday, and let's get, excuse me, let's get the community rallied. And for those that aren't able to sub on any particular day when they would really like to, let's get their sub taken care of from the community, and we'll just kind of continue to pay it forward with one another. I'd really like to see our entire core group of people that's been so dedicated to these streams and the initial launch of the channel as you know, our cornerstone members, if you will, always involved in our sample swapping exercises and stuff. So Saf, I believe you will make a living off of your sound. You've made huge strides over the last couple of years since we've been working together, so I think you can do that. Rain, and yeah, we will talk about making money. I think that there are so many more ways for you guys to be making money right now. It's just a matter of exposing you to a smattering of them and see which ones or which ones you like and which ones you can kind of stick with without it feeling like a burden to carry, you know, the workflows and whatnot. So on that note, I will be departing, and I'll see you guys on Friday, bright and early on my side. In the meantime, if you want to send some sounds in, holler at ohmlab.tv. Let me just stick that up here. And I will also, just one last time, I'll put up this link, and I'll leave you guys with some music so you guys can click on this link for a couple of minutes. Reels is only, I think it was 39 US out the door, 30 UK pounds. Anyway, it's 33% off, not 30% off, but 33% off. And when you get it, you pick up Trash 2 and Carbon for free. I think that's it. Trance in your pants. Thank you for sticking around. Rain, Saf, Paul, y'all are great. Nice. You used your virtual cache. That's awesome. That's great. I love it when you get lots of things for free. That's great. Like I said, I'll leave you with a little music. So I'll see you guys on the flip, okay? Take care. Cheers. All that. You spent your record fund on it. Oh, good. I'm glad it was worth it. All right. On that note, I'm out. See you later, guys.